Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to understand more about Python. In the first video, we have understood about the strength of Python. I told you what exactly is the difference between Python, C, C++, and Java. Now, one more strength of Python is that Python, we can actually code very less and we can achieve more. So the coding is very less and we can achieve more. So if you take an example, for example, a C program, okay? So I'll take an example of a C program. And in a C program, if we want to write a simple program that is the hello world. So we just want to print the message of hello world. That is the first program that we normally write in any programming language. So how do we do that? Okay, it's we have to include the okay the header files. Then we can include another header file, that is the choreo.h. Then starts the function, that is the main, and then we have the message, that is printf, and then we can have the message, that is hello world. So this is what we normally do in a C program. If we consider the other programming languages like Java, even in Java we have, okay, almost all, we have to do a coding in which we will be declaring a class, and inside that class we will be having the main function, and inside that main function then we are going to print the message. So this is what is done in the other programming language. If similar, I have to do in Python. So how can I do it in Python? And for that, it's just so simple. In Python, what you have to do is simply use the print function, okay, and print the message hello world. That's it. So there is only one single statement, okay, one single statement that we need to use to print the message hello world. So isn't that fantastic? So there is a purpose why Python has been developed that way, is because it works for your goal. So basically, whatever your goal is, it is going to speed up that process. You don't need to remember too many complex syntaxes, or don't need to do a lot of coding to achieve a particular thing. And that was the main goal of why Python was developed. So it is very simple, easy to use, easy to learn, and it achieves a it achieves the goal that you're looking for. Okay, so that's the whole purpose. Now what we are going to do is we are going to understand this print function. Now this is a function. Okay, let me just get it over here. Okay, so we are going to understand the print function because that's the first function that we have used it, right? So print function. Now this print function, okay, it takes, okay, a variable length, you can say a variable length of string arguments. Okay, so I can write something like hello, okay, only hello. And then if I write another print statement and I write over here world. Right now, I'm just using one string. I'm just passing one string, right? Hello and world. Why I've done this is because if you really run this particular program, okay, so how it is going to print on the screen, that is very important to understand, because then we are going to understand about how to generate patterns. So we need to understand how this print function basically works. So it is going to print hello, and then by default it is going to come to the next line. Okay, so print function, whatever it is, you are printing it, by default the cursor will come to the next line. So it is going to print exactly as what we have typed in the code, that is hello, and in the next line we are going to have the word world. If you compare that with other languages like C, so if you write something like this, print f, and I write hello, print f hello, and then print f world, okay, printf world. So this is going to give the output line this. Okay, why? Because in printf, the cursor is going to print, I mean, the function is going to print and the cursor remains at the same line. Whereas in Python, by default, the cursor comes to the next line. This is very, very important to understand. Okay, now let us move forward. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a print function. And now another way of using the print function is we can have multiple arguments of strings. Okay, so this is hello. So that completes my one argument or parameter. Now, these are the terms. If you worked with C or C++ or Java, we normally use that terms. If you're really new, you don't know anything about programming, it's okay. In a bit of while, I'm going to tell you about the arguments and parameters, but this is a very initial stage. So I'll be just explaining in very, very short. Once we move forward, we are going to learn with functions. Then we are going to understand the term more clearly. So now, this is the print function, and it's very important that it should start with a double quotes. If it's a string and just want to print a message, that is string. So it is very important to start with a double quotes and end with a double quotes, and then the string, whatever string you want to give. String, that is a set of characters. And then I'm giving a comma over here. And then I'm giving one more string, that is word. So this is like I'm passing one more string actually. Okay, so every function, like it has a parameters and we pass argument parameters, they are interchangeably used. So every function, not every function, but normally functions, they do take arguments, they do have parameters. Now, parameter arguments, you can, at this moment, you can say it is one and the same thing. Okay, so this is like we are passing arguments to the function. So hello, then comma, and then world. Now, what happens, and I close this over here. Okay, this is just, and there is no semicolon or nothing of that sort. Okay, so how this is going to print on the screen? So it is going to print hello, and that one comma that we have, it is going to give one space, and then it is going to be world. So this is how it is going to print. If we separate them and pass them separate arguments, so hello, comma, world. Okay. Do remember that in print statement, I can also use a single quote. Even that is allowed in Python. And in fact, it has a purpose which we are going to understand in the future. Why there is a single quote and double quote, both are allowed. There is a purpose behind that. Okay. So I can also use a single quote, even that is allowed. But remember, it has to be a single quote. If I write something, if you're very new to programming and I simply write hello world, so it does not mean anything. So this hello world is basically not defined. It is not defined yet, and then you're going to have a error. Okay, so if you want to print a message, it has to be with a double quotes or a single quote. Okay, now let us shift. Now, as I told you that the print function by default, okay, whatever it is, the message that you are printing, it will print and it will come to the next line. But what if we don't want it to come to the next line? Okay, so let us do that. Okay, so there is a print function and I write a message that is hello. Okay, now, and then give a comma, separate by comma. Every arguments are separated by comma. Okay, after giving a comma, we will be using a special keyword argument. Now, this is also something you're going to learn in the upcoming videos when we are going to learn about functions. So that is a keyword argument that we are going to use, and the keyword argument that we are going to use is end. Okay, and we have to assign a value to this. So that is end. How to use that? I'm going to use end equal to, and I give a empty string. So opening and closing double quotes I have used. You can also use single quotes as I said, and then the closing bracket. Okay. Now what is going to happen over here is, let me have one more print statement before I just tell you the output, and I'm going to write world and that's it. And there is no other arguments I'm going to pass. So what is going to happen over here is print function is going to print hello, and it is going to end with an empty string, which means by default it comes to the next line character, but now there is an empty string. So the cursor remains on the same line. This will not come to the next line. And then we have the word, that is world, and it is going to print world. And now since I'm not passing anything to this, so by default, after printing world, it is going to come to the next line. The cursor will come to the next line. Okay, so this will be the output. I hope this thing is very much clear. So this is a argument, that is end, which is called as a keyword argument. Remember that. So I can have messages like, I can do this way, like hello. Okay, and then I can have word. I can do that. And what I can do is this time I'm going to end with a character, that is the asterisk character, that is the star character that we have. If I do something like this, how it is going to print? It is going to print hello, and then this comma that we have is going to give a space, then world, and then it is going to end with the star character, the asterisk character. Okay, this is the output for this statement. Okay, so let us move forward. And now this print statement so has can take, this star basically means it can take variable length of strings. And how do I've just shown that, like hello comma word comma, and you can have multiple strings like that. So when I say star string, but basically I'm trying to tell you that it can take variable length of string, and then it has an end argument. Okay, and then it has one more argument, that is sep, and that's it. Okay, so a variable length of strings arguments it can take, like hello, comma, word, comma, Python, comma, programming. So there will be 4 strings that I'm passing. So I've just written this star indicates like variable length over here. Please do not get confused. Variable length. Okay, I'm just trying to donate that. Then there is an end argument, and then there is a sep argument. Okay, and this completes the Python the print function basically. Now we have understood this end argument, but we have to understand the sep argument. Now how does that work? Okay, so if I use print and I say hello, complete closing the quotes, and then again one more string hello comma word comma, and I'm using the sep. Now sep is separator. Okay, it is going to separate these two. By default what happens, between the two comes a space, but now if I specify a character like a star, okay, what is going to happen is between these two strings we will have the star character. So this is hello, then the star, and then world. Okay, let us take one more example about the sep. Okay, so now I'm going to have print hello, then I'm going to have word, then I'm going to have, just for example, I'm taking Python and uh, programming. Okay, so there are 4, and then I'm using sep is equal to, this time I'm going to give hash. Okay, a hash character, and I'm going to also use the end with a star. Now what is going to happen is every string that we are passing, it is going to get separated with a hash. So the output will be hello, then going to be hash, then word, then hash, then Python, again hash because that's the separator, and then programming, that's the last string. And we are going to use the end that we have used is the asterisk sign, that is a star character. So it is going to end with that star character. So many a times, even in if you're giving an interview or you're giving a technical round interview, so such questions can come to you, a simple print statement, and you might get confused that what exactly will be the output. So this basically clears everything to you. So this is how a print function basically works. Again, I repeat, if we just go back for what we have done is this one. Okay. Yes. Remember this. Okay, this is the complete print statement that we have studied. So it takes variable length of string, multiple variables we can pass, just like what we have done. We passed four strings, that is hello, world, Python, and programming. And then there are two keyword arguments, that is and sep. These are, remember, the word that is keyword argument. And in the future we are going to work with keyword arguments once we start learning about the functions. Okay, but at this point, as a new beginner, just remember that these are keyword arguments. So I hope that I have made you understand the print function. That is the first function that we normally use in Python. And if you really want to understand, okay, how what we can do is we can actually you know do that in a we can actually execute that, implement that, and see practically whether it works or not. So now you have the this is the VS code that I'm using. Okay, this is the VS code, and there is a print function in front of you. I hope that this is visible. Let me just check it's visible or not. Yeah, that's visible. Okay, so that's the print function that we are using. And as you can see, this is the VS code. Please understand that you need to download the Python IDE. Let me just explain that as well, because if you are a beginner, then we need to understand that. Okay, and then we will just practically implement and see. Every programming language comes with a IDE. Please remember that this is integrated development environment. Okay, integrated development environment. Basically, it's a software where we can actually type the code. There is an interpreter. We can execute the code. We can see the output and everything we can do. So every programming language comes with the IDE. Now, for Python, we have the website, that is python.org. And going to this website, you can download the Python interpreter from this website. It has a by default IDE, which is called as IDLE. That's the name given to it. That's the same like IDE, IDLE. This extra L basically stands for learning. So this is integrated development learning environment. Okay, so even this you should know. So what is the IDE? IDE is basically a software where we can actually type the code, run the code, right? And it gives a lot of features for us to maintain the code. So that is the IDE. There are so many IDEs that Python has. Basically, yeah, there are many IDEs like PyCharm. We have Spider. So there are many, and we have VS Code as well, which is a IDE for many other languages, not only for Python. So you can run many other languages on the VS Code. So right now I'm just switching to VS Code. Now this is in front of you, and if I run this program, okay, you can see that it has given us the output, that is hello world. Right. Let me just clear the screen. Just a minute. We just clear the screen. Yes, and now we can run and we can see the output that is over here. This is the output it is showing to us. Now we can try what we have learned. That is, I complete this, and a separate argument I'm passing hello world, right? And now, as I told you, let me just give this in the next line, that is print. And over here. Now, if I run this, you can see the output that we have it in a separate line, hello and world. At the bottom, you can see over here. I've just highlighted at the bottom, hello world. Okay, one more time and you can see hello world. But if I want that it should be the message hello, once it prints the message hello, it should not come to the next line. So I will say comma and I'm going to end with a empty string. Now this is a single quote that I have used. You can also use a double quote. Both are allowed. Okay. Now if I run this and you see the output, as I told you, it is going to be in the same line. Let me just clear this and run one more time. And you can see hello world, right? Now I'll just remove this and we will pass different arguments, hello world, and give a comma. After every argument there has to be a comma. Please see, there is a comma, there is a comma. Okay, and this is the keyword argument ending with a empty string. Now if I run this code, and you will see the output like this. You can see that there is a hello, and then you can see there is a gap between hello and world. So there is a space. As I told you, this comma basically will give a space. Now, let me just use that set and give a hash. And what this is going to do is, it is going to, at the place of space, now we are going to have the hash. Let me first clear this. Okay. And now if we run this, you can see hello hash world, right? And we are ending with an empty string so that it's not going to come to the next line. Okay. So this is how everything is working. And you need to understand this print function very well, because what is going to happen is once we start generating the patterns, you should know how that print function works. So it is going to be easy for you to, while you generate those patterns in the future, because that is going to be the base for you for understanding the control statements, right? So that's it for today. I hope that the print function now is very much clear to you. Thank you so much.